right, it's still a beautiful good morning to you on Uniuyo 100.7 FM, and it's a Good Morning Nigeria show. So far, I believe you've been having a wonderful time with Victor Kun, who has been on the console as well on the microphone, giving you all the best and the very best. Remember, it's a Monday morning, and there is so much expected of us to start a new working week. My name is Gloria Omo, and I'm saying welcome to another segment of the Good Morning Nigeria show, which is the Tidbit segment. On the Tidbit segment is going to be a special exclusive interview for creating awareness for this year's celebration of the World Malaria Day. And with me to do this is someone special, not just one person, two special people, all the way from the Ministry of Health. And they'll be giving us the important information and to communicate with us what we need to know about the World Malaria Day, the significance, and of course its benefit. And with me this morning for this special assignment is first on my list, Mrs. Mfon Jona Asuko. She is the State Malaria Elimination Program Unit. Okay, she's from the State Malaria Elimination Program Unit of the Ministry of Health, and she is the Malaria Vector Research Control Officer. You're welcome, Ma.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation to be here today.
Thank you,
and
Gloria.
Also, I am glad to have you. She's looking so gorgeous. You need to see her. It's like she's my mother. She's looking so beautiful. I mean, in her appearance, you can just tell she is a mother indeed. You're welcome once again.
Thank you, Gloria.
And I believe you had a wonderful weekend.
Yes, of course I did.
Okay, so we'll be going into details as time goes on.
All right.
Yes, and also on her seat is a beautiful lady too. She's just also a mother. In fact, I'm blessed to have two wonderful mothers this morning on the show, and this is no other than Mrs. Mary Bassi. She is also of the Ministry of Health, and she is the Advocacy, Communication and Social Mobilization Officer. You're welcome, madam.
Thank you very much. Good morning. Good morning, listeners. God bless you for this wonderful morning.
Thank you so much. You're looking, I love your smile. I wish you just see that smile. It's just so contagious. All right, so straight to the business of the day, the World Malaria Day. What are we talking about? I know this year's World Malaria Day celebration has been tagged a special theme. What is that theme actually about? Please, let's hear that.
Accelerating the fight against malaria.
Accelerating the fight against malaria
For a more equitable world. Accelerating the fight against malaria for a more equitable world.
Yes, equitable in the sense of gender equity. Yes, and also human rights. Yes,
and health equity.
Okay, when we talk about health equity, is it that some people are disadvantaged in the area of healthcare, or some people are having the attention more than others? Is that what you're trying to say?
For the fight against malaria, it's not really that some people are disadvantaged, but in health equity, with regards to malaria, we know that there are certain people that are very vulnerable.
Okay.
And those people that are very vulnerable are women of childbearing age, especially the pregnant women.
Okay.
And then children under the age of 5, pregnant women, because there is a tendency that with pregnancy their immune system is going to be reduced and they can easily contract malaria. And then children under 5, even when the symptoms of malaria are there, they will not be able to tell what is wrong with them. And so, but another thing is access to information, to everybody know about what you are doing in the malaria programs. Do people know that malaria treatment is free? Do people know that if you access the public health facility, the testing for malaria, especially in the primary healthcare setting, is free with the rapid diagnostic test? And then do people know that when you are tested positive, the treatment is free? That's the ACT that is given.
Yes.
So those are the things that in this World Malaria Day, we make people aware. Even though we create awareness as a program, that's a state malaria elimination program, we do that often. But we know that we have the global effect here when we gather in the World Malaria Day to really make people aware of what we are doing.
Wow.
That is why one of the significance of World Malaria Day is awareness creation. So I will stop there for my colleague.
Yes, please. So, Mommy, please let's hear your own version or side of the story.
Okay, thank you very much, Mary. She's taken so much of it, but
Okay.
I think to just add there, we
Yes.
also have the need to create more awareness to everybody in the society, both old and young, children and adults, and with more emphasis to those vulnerable, which she have already mentioned here, so that they can always go for their health check, so that as they do the health check, they should be able to know when they are going down to developing malaria diseases through testing. And if a test is conducted on such individuals that takes his or herself to the public health facilities for such things, then we find out that the test becomes positive. That individual is treated free, and of course the test is also free, just as my sister had just said. So we create more awareness during this period to people both old and young, new and old. And then we also encourage them to go out and also get to know what they should do in terms of prevention of malaria, and that's how they can stay without developing malaria, and encourage them also to take care of the preventive aspect by going to sleep inside the nets every night throughout the year, all round, because the mosquito that actually gives us this problem is the female Anopheles mosquito, which is a very bad nocturnal insect. And so when we sleep inside the treated insecticide bed nets, we will scarcely be seen or come up with malaria, because the mosquito will not have access to biting us, neither will they have access to transmit the sporozoid from one person that is infected to the next person. Because if I and you sleep inside the net, then we are free of the sporozoids of the plasmodia that causes this malaria, and they are the vectors carrying this plasmodia.
That's hearing from the vector research control officer herself. She's giving us all those terminologies. So I also appreciate that, and as well say more for the fact that many people have these mosquito nets. Most people don't really use it because the weather, for instance, the climate has not been favorable. For instance, in Akwa, when the heat has been on the high side, people have not really been using the net because it's hot. So how would we encourage people to put aside the discomfort of being in the heat and use it to protect themselves from malaria?
Thank you very much. Just as the heat is high, but none of us is going naked, two of us. And so if we are able to condone putting on our dresses, our suits and all that, we should also be able to condone with the situation in terms of the nets, sleeping inside the nets. And actually, when you sleep inside the net, you started the first day, the second day, the third day, you get used to it, just as you use your dresses. You know, you have some dresses, some suits that are warm, but there are times when you may not feel like wearing it, but because you need to go for that particular occasion, you need to put on that suit. And so once you are able to, adjust yourself to that, you should be able to adjust yourself to fit into sleeping inside the net. And while sleeping inside the net, you can keep your doors, your windows open. your window that is netted should be kept open for
Yeah.
cross ventilation, and you have a nice sleep and you don't have any issues. And someone out there may be asking me, by the time I keep my window open, all these bad guys will come in and all that. It's not true. It's not just for that. Once you keep your windows safe, of course, your windows will be having protectors, true or false.
burglaries,
So if we have those things on our doors and windows, the bad guys, they will not have the time to, before they come in, at least you will be alert. So keeping the windows open, and then you sleep inside your net, allowing cross ventilation to come in and go out, you are very safe and sound and free from malaria attack.
Yes. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, just to add to what she has said, the matter of sleeping inside the net, they talk about our weather in Akwa Ibom being hot. I don't think our weather here is as hot as in the north.
Okay.
At least I've been to Kaduna and Kano.
Okay.
I've not been to other hotter places, but I know that
Ibom
we
is still
don't even experience
heat like that.
have the heat that is experienced over there, and the people sleep inside the net. It's just a preference.
Okay.
Prevention, they say, is better than cure.
Of course.
Now, malaria, the vector that causes malaria bites in the night.
Okay.
And in the night, the whole night is not going to be hot. No matter how hot our environment is, the whole night is not going to be hot. So you take your bath in the night,
Okay.
and then you tuck in your net as you enter inside the net to sleep. The effect of this is that there is a barrier
Okay.
between you and the vector that is outside. He won't access you to, or this vector will not access us to give the bite and then transmit the infection. The second thing is that it kills the mosquito net that we have, the insecticide treated net, kills the mosquito vector.
Okay.
And then another thing is that this mosquito net will also do a general prevention.
Okay.
General prevention in the sense that if all of us here live in the same community and we sleep inside our nets, because she would have added to us that the vector that female Anopheles mosquito use our human blood to reproduce. And so the cycle of reproduction is not going to be there. And so we are going to have a malaria-free community.
In fact, that's the real fight. You fight from your own corner, I fight from my own corner, and everybody brings the fight to.
And that is why we are saying it has to start with you and I.
So let's just go straight now to the significance. You've given us almost everything about the significance in totality, and I must appreciate that. And as well, the benefits is that when this person is able to fight from his own side, we will be able to protect the other person. And so in summary now, we have to go all out to make sure everyone is involved in this fight. And not give it only or leave it to only the medical practitioners or those who are maybe up there, or is the government. Government cannot do everything. It starts with us. So in your final words, because we know that you have to get to make other places or meet other engagements, what are the challenges people have, that they cannot be able to, how can they control these challenges? For instance, like we said, the heat is one of the challenges that they have, not allowing people to be able to carry out the responsibility of fighting or protecting themselves against malaria. What about accessing the public healthcare centers?
The public healthcare centers are open to everyone. From morning. In short, it's open for 24 hours. So there's no way you go to the public health facilities and you won't find a health staff. At least you find a nurse working there. And these health facilities, government has come to make them, more for us. They have increased the number of health facilities more than what we even have. Because like we are here, right from here, between now here and traffic light there, we have a health center there. And if you go out here, trying to go towards the plaza, around that, just before that, there's another outlet there at Barracks Road, though it has been moved to Ikorobido for now. And so we have a lot of these public health care facilities all around us and within us. It's just for us to oblige to the instructions of once you get ill, you have fever, you may not just know whether the fever is because of malaria, because all of us seated here, once you have fever, you have headache, it's malaria. You get to know what is actually the problem. Is it actually malaria or something else? So the best thing you do is carry yourself to the healthcare facility closer to you, and then they will run a test for you there. Once the RDT test is done, what I mean by RDT there is a rapid diagnostic test for malaria. Within 30 minutes, you are done with that. So once that test is done for you and it is, free of malaria, you'll be told it's free of malaria. If it is malaria, we go on to treat you with ACT. But if it is not malaria and you are still having the fever, you are still having the symptoms just like malaria, we need to go for further investigation to actualize why you are having the fever, why you are having those symptoms, because not all fever are malaria, and besides, most other diseases do sometimes have some signs and symptoms like malaria. If one is having, maybe you have typhoid or you have any venereal diseases, you could also have some form of fever and some pains. And so you need to actualize what is really the cause of your fever by running the test and then going in for the normal and actual proper test
and treatment. Okay, that's so far we can take on this edition of the program Tidbits, and we've been speaking with Mrs. Mfonjona Asukwo, who is a state malaria who works with the State Malaria Elimination Program Unit, Ministry of Health, and she is a malaria vector research control officer. And we also had Mrs. Mary Bassi, and who is also an advocacy, communication, and social mobilization officer. And so far, they've been here to give us the communication and information about this year's World Malaria Day. So in your final words, Mrs. Mary Bassi, what will you tell the public to do for this week as we prepare for the World Malaria celebration?
So World Malaria Day celebration is really, the main day is the 25th of this April, which is Thursday.
Yes.
Tell us, in order to live a malaria-free society, we need to play our part. And how do we play our part? Our environment are very important. The vector will not be there if we stop this attitude of dumping refuse in the gutters and having stagnant water all around us. When we are leaving the grass around us overgrow, when we don't keep a clean environment, we are sure to have a habitat for the vectors. Secondly, if we are not sleeping inside the net, we are going to be exposed, and it is very, very unsafe. It's going to make us spend a lot. And then we are to, not once you notice any fever, yourself, your mother, your father, your children, or a pregnant woman, okay, for the pregnant woman, just go and get registered in the antenatal clinic, and there they will start what is called intermittent preventive treatment of malaria in pregnancy. And that is commencing from the 13 weeks of pregnancy, and then it's intermittently, that's every month until you deliver. And then for the children, once any fever is noticed, don't wait. Go for the test, and when the result is positive, you are going to be treated free. If the result is negative, the health providers will probe further for differential diagnosis, and you are going to be properly treated. Thank you very much. This year's World Malaria Day needs my effort and your effort. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, madam. I'm the one to say thank you, because all these educational values is not really gotten on the platter of gold, and you made out time to make sure that we listen, and all our listeners outside there have also gotten this information to prepare themselves and protect themselves from malaria. And we believe with this fight, everybody taking up the fight will have a world or Nigeria and Akwa Ibom free malaria society.
Thank you.
This is where we draw the curtains, and we say thank you for coming. We hope to have you again when we have our next edition of the program. Maybe not only on malaria, maybe something on health again.
Thank you very much.
From us in Uniuyo FM or Uniuyo 107 FM, we say thank you. Have a lovely day. And to you who listen to us, do have a wonderful day.